Hi, it's Sifu Michael Perella again, back with Sifu David Rogers in from England. And David, are you having a good time so far in the States?
It's really good.
Yeah, America's been good to you?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now, we had a good talk earlier today about how we feel, and for those who don't know, Sifu Rogers and I both do Lama and Hapga, which is really the same, sister styles or from the same style. They were all originally Lion's Roar, and in the early 1800s they came into China, and as Chinese often do, they rename things and change things up, and some of us do the subset or the set that was Lama, and White Crane and Hapga are two of the sets of the style, and they all have different variations and methods of doing things, and they're great to themselves, but when you put them together, they really seem to we get some interesting combinations. But I thought today, our conversation, which I thought was so interesting today, was talking about how Lama and Hapga had maybe influenced other styles. And we do know at the time in the it was the 10 Tigers of Canton we talked about, where it was the later end of the Qing dynasty, where these 10 revolutionary guys get together and they're trying to restore the Ming dynasty, like the movies have said. And we know that Wang Yanlong, who's related to all of us in our lineage, was a Lama guy, and he supposedly is ranked in the #1 spot in the other 10 Tigers. And there were famous guys like Su Hak Fu and Wang Keiying and TQ Sam, guys who did Hongat and Black Tiger, and I think there's a Choy guy in there somewhere. But it's interesting because we talk about and you guys have been doing Hongat for how long?
5 generations.
So 5 generations in your style. So you have yourself, your Sifu's name.
Yes, Dang Jianggong.
Okay, and his father was
Dang Gong.
And then
but Dang Long was his father.
Okay.
And there were 2 generations before that all practiced Hongat.
Okay, so safe to say, pretty much, you got a family recipe going on.
Yeah.
You guys know what you're doing with Hongat. I mean, I've walked through, Tiger Crane set and other sets, but not really my thing. But I've seen enough of it and can recognize our styles in it. Yeah. But you have another unique experience where you do a pre-Wang Fei Hongat, like what some people call a village Hung. Yeah. That's what my teacher taught to a lot of my classmates. And I've seen a lot of it. It's really cool. Shorter bridge, usually.
Shorter bridge, higher stance. And
probably stuff that may not have been exposed to 10 Tigers or any Lama stuff, because it predates that. Yeah. And so you also do like some of the standardized, like more Wang Fei Hung type of stuff. Sure. You said you did
folk song, yeah.
Right. Okay, awesome. So you're definitely the person to speak to when it comes to comparisons. You have love for both styles. Yeah. So it's not like one is better than the other, but you think you definitely recognize the fact that there's some serious influence.
There were some changes to the Hongat structure after the time of Wang Fei Hong.
So what do you think? How do you think that changed?
Well, for example, in the older Hongat style, the hand was chambered here. The elbow wasn't taken behind the body. So it was really a short punch, a short bridge technique, chinging.
So I've seen this where people kind of fought from this position.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea is you're really engaging quite close, and then most of the movements are done in close, this kind of motion. So you can take this to a very high level of skill, but obviously what in a Hapga is really bypassing this and just really working on hitting from a distance, which makes a lot of.
So my short bridge would really kind of be useless in a way.
Very hard to use.
You're never really getting that close.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm coming into you, then it's different.
Right.
Yeah. So
now where do you think that and I don't really see too many Hongat people, they don't really dispute this, but I know in Fuhawk we talk about some specific types of techniques, like the Kapao Chun, so maybe you demonstrate that, and there's a little different way that they do it from the way we do it.
Well, Fuhawk, you can really see the Hapga and the Hongat is mixed quite a lot. So some of the main things you'll see is the leaning of the body more, which is the body method from the Hapga style, the longer bridge and more extension. And so, for example, I will show one part of the Wang San Choy, walk out, and straight punch. I mean, that's just pure.
It's just cut power and chin. Even though the hand position, could be here or here, the energy used for the technique is the same. Whether I turn this way, turn this way, it's like in Choy foot, like whether you chop this way, this way, it's still the stab. Yeah. So that looks like it's obviously
pure Hapga. Yeah. Except obviously in the later generations, some of the Hongat people, because they don't train the Hapga, have changed it somewhat to fit in with their own structure.
So what's different? Like being a Hapga guy, how would you do it differently than being a Hongat guy?
Well, I've seen, for example, the cup choice. A lot of people will throw the cup choice with the body relatively upright. I think because the basic training is more for the short bridge style, whereas in the Hapga we do an awful lot of arm swings and movements with weights and so on. So the kind of long arm is
I see, like when you have your foot in front, and you throw a cup, it looks like you can't really wind your waist as much.
Right.
But it almost seems like you're more susceptible. I remember studying the style when I first started studying it in the 80s, and I'd show my friends cup, and
Yeah.
everyone thought like, whoa, I would just duck under that
Yeah,
and charge you.
Sure.
But also we have that sideways stance, and we have a lot of fail safes that are going to come up, and cover that exposed opening or weakness. But like I notice when you're forward, you don't seem to have the same balance. Like I would think that and there are Choy foot styles. We'll talk about that in a second. I mean, there are Choy foot styles too that will use cup and other techniques. I never really liked doing it. I never liked the idea of this. So even when my teacher would teach it, he would teach us, even though he was teaching Choy foot, he would teach cup in the side stance. So even if we went to something else, because I always felt like if I was forward, if a person slipped under me, like, I'm just, I'm going to get taken down easy, or I just don't feel much balance, and I definitely can't throw with as much power.
Yeah.
So do they do anything different with do we have jigging pouch or the mirror hand
It's a
uppercut?
good pouch choice, certainly. But I mean, it depends on the application. Like if you're throwing a punch and I'm slipping to this side, then I can cut Choy with this forward. It's not very easy for you to take me down from that type of position. My seat was short, so it's a good technique for him to slip underneath it. If you're coming towards me with a motion, and if I cut Choy here, I'm going to keep that back. I'm going to keep sideways on. But generally with the cup Choy, you're either going to end up on the outside or the inside of the cup Choy. There's only two ways you can do it. If I cut, for example, when you duck underneath, in a boxing terminology, I can either be coming back again,
or the elbow comes in,
and then if you threw a left hook, for example, which is a follow a common motion, and for that as well. The other thing that people maybe try and do is move inside the cup Choy, but it's kind of difficult. Obviously, if I throw it like this, it's very easy for you to move inside it. The cup Choy is usually a part of a combination. It's usually set up. But a fail-safe is if you did move inside it, then I can
right, sure.
I'm going to wrestling and that kind of thing, which is the fail-safe of the hop guard technique. You get inside the range. What we won't do is try and trap or use short bridge. We'll go straight from the loss to the wrestling.
Right, we're the same.